Afternoon to you. I'm Katie Jeffries. We are closely watching for any announcements from the GOP about where the Republican National Convention could land. Now, according to the Washington Post, Jacksonville could be the new destination. The report states that 3 Republican officials have been briefed on the plans, have even visited Jacksonville to scope out the city. Now, Mayor Lenny Curry has been in favor of bringing the convention to the First Coast, saying it would bring about $100 million in economic impact. And most of the events would likely be held at VyStar Veterans Memorial Arena, including President Trump's acceptance of the GOP nomination for president. The arena is smaller than the Spectrum Center in Charlotte, North Carolina, though, where the convention was originally scheduled. The RNC is being moved because of concerns about coronavirus. Now, we are currently working to find out the final plans for the location of the Republican National Convention. We are waiting to see if it will be Jacksonville. So the primary election is in November, and President Trump will run against the presumptive Democratic nominee, Joe Biden.